think what we do is instrumental, electronic rock. It has elements of anything from heavy metal to progressive rock to even dance music and ambient music. It's not like pop music in the sense that it's got a brick-walled sound, everything is loud. It's got dynamics, it's got ups and downs, and it has a story to tell. And it's music that's predominantly aimed for people who listen to music rather than people who, want to be spoon-fed music. People have to go searching for this kind of music.
There's a new song called Helios Arbus, the title track of the new album, that we just decided we'd take in a completely different direction, as many different directions as we could. So you've got your kind of melodic intro, and then it goes slightly heavier, and then it goes almost in a cinematic direction, and then it's kind of into a heavier section. So we try to just really keep it interesting, I suppose. We're all absolute gear junkies. Well, I know myself and Torsten are anyway. It's like any bit of money that we have always goes back into buying new equipment and new gear, so probably more than we should really at this point.
For me, it's mostly the pedals. I don't really like distortion too much. I prefer fuzz all the time.
I use actually my stage piano. I run it through a sort of selection of guitar pedals, like the Eventide Space Station, the Strymon Delay, which I suppose are typically used for the guitar, but I actually use them for my piano, so it kind of helps us get really cool, interesting delays and reverbs and stuff.
Yeah, I do want to stress, equipment isn't, you could do the same with a lot less. Do you know what I mean? It's just that we've collected, don't forget I'm doing this for a long time, so I've just collected a certain amount of equipment over a period of time, and equipment isn't everything. It really is the music and your performance ability on stage. Musicians are terrible judges of other people's music, the worst. Because every musician usually has a tunnel vision. What I mean by that, they're looking at what they think is right and because they're putting out what they want to hear. So when you hear somebody else's piece of work, it's very hard to suddenly get rid of that mindset and then look at it with an open mind, which is where critics come in. That's their job, and that's not our job. So I'm definitely see myself as a songwriter rather than style merchant. Style merchants are something I'm not interested in being. I pay a little bit of attention to it, but not much, because it really is damaging to what musically you're trying to say. You see, there's a thing in post-rock where style is valued above content, and that's a very bad thing in music in general. I think the content is very important to us. It's more important than anything. I was thinking slightly stylistic with Origins, which I kind of regret. I wished I just concentrated and said, look, let's just do what's right for us, and that's all we've done with this album. But all the songs, including stuff off Origins, has always been from the heart. It's always meant something to us. And we do what we do because we're the same people. I play the guitar the way I play the guitar. Jamie plays the piano the way he plays. Lloyd plays the way he plays. We're not going to suddenly listen to some new thing that's coming up and say, let's try and do that instead. That's not what we want to do. I mean, post-rock has its advantages too, if you're playing post-rock music and there's an audience there ready for it. So people, there's an audience that literally just goes to post-rock gigs. That's the advantage to it. The disadvantage, people start trying to connect dots when there's maybe none to be made.
The only real thing that we all have in common is that we play instrumental music.
Like, it's so different. You can take anything from Godspeed You Black Emperor all the way to 65 Days of Static. There's really nothing much in common there. And what happens is bands like ourselves, you have certain people who say it's derivative, and then you have another people say it isn't post-rock, and they're purists and they feel like you're breaking the rules. And you get people who will literally hate you because it isn't their idea of post-rock. And that's the downside of being labelled as post-rock. But it's only a label. At the end of the day, it's all music when it's all said and done. And music is something that we write from the heart, as I'm sure all the other bands do as well, because people just wouldn't turn up to your show or they wouldn't buy a record if it was something that was completely just copied. People can tell. And I think people that don't like our music out there have to at least give the benefit of the doubt. We wouldn't be where we are today if we didn't have something original to say.